Good morning. My name is Tom Vukovic with Insurance Network America. I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today for a call on helping your clients achieve their retirement goals by taking the pressure off their portfolios. I want to say that today you made the right choice by choosing to participate with us for a number of reasons. One of them being that we have one of our favorite guest speakers that many of you have met in the past, Mark Williams, who is the Divisional Vice President from Allianz Life. Today we will examine just how much retirement planning has changed compared to previous generations, and you will walk away with a few strategies for your clients that can help to reduce pressure on their portfolios. So thank you for joining us. For all of the familiar names on the call, I want to sincerely thank you for your partnership in your business. For those on the call that are not yet contracted with INA and Allianz, our ask of you today is to give us the opportunity to earn your business. We'd love to work with you. A couple of quick housekeeping items before I turn things over to Mark Williams. During today's call, if you have questions, please submit them through the GoToWebinar menu. We will take a few minutes at the end of the presentation to answer questions. If you have a few, we'll try to field those throughout Mark's presentation. Please don't hesitate to call us if you have additional questions. If you have a client case you'd like to discuss, we've got a terrific client piece that is hot off the press that you can use with your clients' conversations that Mark's going to go through. Don't want to steal his thunder. But our number, just again, so you have it, it's 800-456-7999. And at this point, I will turn things over to Mark Williams. Thank you, Mark.
Great. Thank you very much, Tom. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be in front of the group. For everybody on the call, we appreciate your business with Allianz. I know the last couple of months have been an uphill battle for a lot of people in the financial services industry, but everybody has been doing everything they can to help clients through the volatile markets that we've seen, and we've had pretty good business, and we really appreciate when you pick Allianz. So thank you very much. When discussing the opportunity to get in front of the group with Tom, I thought it would be a good idea just to do a refresh first on our ABC, our Allianz Benefit Control product that launched in March. Many of you have written business with us on that strategy. It's been the most successful product launch that we've ever had. Currently, we have 172 million that's been written so far since the 1st of March, and over 600 producers have used this strategy with their clients. So I thought I'd walk through that, and then, as Tom pointed out, share a little bit on a client-approved piece that will help clients perhaps get money off the sidelines and use an annuity, or in particular, perhaps the ABC, as a solution for them. So I encourage you, if you do have any questions, to send those in as Tom described, and I'll certainly we can answer questions as we go through if they come in. So we really appreciate it.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Mark, I was going to ask if you could just get a little closer to your microphone. I'm just getting a little bit of echo.
Okay. Is that better?
I appreciate it.
Yep.
That's great. Thank you.
So just from a business standpoint, Allianz again was the #1 selling fixed indexed annuity company for the 43rd quarter in a row, and our 222 product, which is a good complement to what we're going to go through today, was still the #1 selling FIA for the 23rd consecutive quarter. So again, thank you for the business. So when we launched the ABC back in March, this was a strategy that came out of our idea that we needed to be prepared in low interest rate environments to continue to offer products that had client value as well as value to the producer, and it was out of what we call our 1% playbook. And when we launched it, the 10-year Treasury was about 1.5 to 2. We weren't in that environment, and then shortly after we launched, as many of you know, we've seen extremely low interest rates. And what I want to do is just make certain that you know that Allianz will always continue to have products no matter what market environment, the volatile equity markets as well as low interest rate environments, because that's what you guys do the best, is working with clients on solutions like fixed indexed annuities that help protect their livelihood or their retirement accounts. So that's really where ABC came out of. So I'm going to walk through here. Of course, it's a fixed index annuity. I'll be pointing out at the end the index allocations that are available. We've had a lot of success with our ER indexes. We added them a couple of years ago, and then also started adding them to existing contracts that were issued without them throughout last year, and have had very favorable returns even in down equity markets. So the ER indexes did exactly what we were looking for them to do. So let's get to the ABC. So the ABC stands for Anytime Income. This is a product that you can start to take income immediately or on any month anniversary. So it's a lot more flexible than perhaps the 222 from that standpoint. There's a benefit control. So you have a choice between the balanced or an accelerated PIV interest bonus, and I'll walk through that. So this really, from a positioning standpoint, if you use the accelerated, and I'll point that out, is a way of taking perhaps a smaller portion of clients' retirement assets and using it to produce income sooner, and giving them better income than perhaps some of the other strategies out there. And then cost of living. As you know, one of the best things that we do at Allianz is not only provide lifetime income for your clients, but also give your clients the ability to increase that income once they start to turn it on. And this certainly has that benefit as well. So this is what I would call just the T-chart on the product, 0 through age 80, $20,000 minimum, 10% free out after the first year. And one of the key things here is just that flexible premium. We added this to the 222 as well. You can add premium to the contract in the first 18 months. And that gives the producer and the client the opportunity to discuss how the product did after a year in the contract, and then be able to add premium to the contract as if it was added on the first day. And we've had a lot of success doing client add premium events for producers. And many of you may be doing those kind of things, but the 18-month premium gives you the ability to do that with existing clients. And you can see the 10-year surrender and so forth. Marital status, I point that out too. If the marital status of the client changes, you can change that prior to taking income on this product, even after issue. So this product has two bonuses. One is the premium bonus, and you're probably familiar with that. It's similar to the 222. This is a 10% premium bonus. Put in 100, get 110 to that PIV, as well as an interest bonus that's applied at the end of the crediting period. And this is where the difference lies between the accelerated and the balanced. And I'm trying to move this box over so I can see what else is here. There we go. So what is the protected income value? As many of you are aware, it's the value lifetime withdrawals will be based on. Of course, the PIV value is not available as a lump sum, but it can be used as a death benefit paid out over a 5-year period. And from a positioning standpoint, again, I'll try to key in on that. That's been a very popular way of using this product, because you can accelerate that PIV value for not only the ability to take income off of, but also used as a death benefit. So the interest bonus options to help grow that PIV, first is the balanced. It is 150% of what you get in your account value. So that's very similar to the 222. And then you can pick the accelerated PIV interest bonus, which will give you 250% of what you earn in the contract to ratchet or accelerate the growth of that PIV value. In order to do that, you give up 50% on the accumulation value. So we'll talk about how to position that with a client. But truly, this is, if you use this product, use the accelerated, you're able to accelerate that PIV value and maximize a client's income. And that's where we see about 80% of the contracts coming in using the accelerated. You do have the ability to switch on a contract anniversary between the balanced and the accelerated. So if the client's needs have changed from income to accumulation, you have the ability to do that as well. So let's take a look between the two. This would be the balanced on your left-hand side. Put 100 in, you get that 10% bonus. If you get a 4% interest credit, you get 150% of that on that PIV value. So at the end of the year, you get $116,600 on the PIV. And of course, you earn 4% on your contract value, so your contract value goes to 104. The accelerated works a little bit different. You put 100 in, you still get that 110%. As an example, we get that 4% interest credit. Now you get 50% on your contract value. So your new credit on your contract value is only 2%. So at the end of year one, you get 102,000 on your contract value, but you get 250% of that 4%. So you get 10% credited to the protected income value. So as you can see, by the end of year one, your PIV value is already at 121,000. So it's very easy to see, which option is better for your client. If the client is looking for enhancing their opportunity from an income standpoint, on the top you can see 157,642 growth on the accelerated option versus 136,000 in 6 years of growth. So just from a positioning standpoint, again, you can take a look if the client's main concern that they want to use this product for the portion of their portfolio for income, you can maximize that PIV value. If on the other hand, if they're just looking for accumulation, the balance would be better, and you can see the difference between the account value on the accelerated versus the balanced. So we do have increasing income on this. We will walk through that in a second, and you can see the age bands over on the right-hand side. So again, if I'm sure everybody on the call is familiar with the increasing income, but that is one of the cornerstones of all of our income products. And the way to position, I typically position our products from an income standpoint for those people that are living to life expectancy and beyond in an inflationary environment, and they're looking for a portion of their assets to not only provide income until they die, but also get a great chance of increasing that income. So let's take a look at how that works. So once you start to take lifetime income, now you will get what would be called the balanced interest bonus of 150%. So in this example, if your withdrawal in year 6 in this example was $10,000, you had a growth of 3% on your account value, that your income would go up by 150% of that, or 4.5%. So the next year's income would be $10,450, and that will never go down. In year 7 in this example, we had no credit to the account value, so your income remains the same. Following year, you get a 5% interest credit to your account value. You get a 7.5% increase in income. And you can see that as you go forward. So again, very big part of our products. We have the ability for producers to run lists of their clients and that are taking income currently and see how they've done in the past on income, And this is a proven story going back to the first January 1st of 2008. We've had 96% of our clients that had the opportunity to get a raise. 60% of them have received more than one raise in the last 11 years. The income multiplier benefit also can be somewhat positioned as a long-term care provision for your client. It helps you to double your lifetime income. If either of these two things happen, if you're confined to a nursing home or a long-term care facility, hospital or assisted living, or you're unable to perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living. So that was a big deal. We were able to add that here recently. So your client can truly stay at home and be able to double their income. And the way that works, if your income before your illness was $20,000, your income will double due to that illness to 40. You still can get raises in income, as those bar graphs suggest. So in this case, over a period of 3 years, you were given raises in income from 40 to 43,000. And then if you draw your account value down to 0, your income doesn't start. It simply goes back to half of what your most recent payment was. So in this example, you were getting $43,000. The client drained the account. It goes to $21,500, but will continue for the rest of the client's life. Any questions coming in so far, Tom?
So far, we have no questions, but again, if you do, please submit them on the GoToWebinar menu that you have on your screen. Thank you.
So I mentioned at the beginning that this product was part of what we called our 1% playbook. So how do we continue to have products that have client value in a interest rate environment that makes it very difficult for insurance companies to provide caps and bonuses and spreads that make any sense for a client? And the way we did that was we added what's known as the allocation charge rider. And it can apply to certain index allocations. It currently can range from a minimum of 0 to 2.5%. And just by having the ability to, at some point in time, add this rider charge to certain index allocations, just by having the ability, we were able to maintain the 10% bonus on this product and the caps and spreads and par rates and so forth that we have currently. Without it, our products would look a lot less competitive. So the criteria for us to add this allocation charge rider to existing contracts would happen if one of these 3 occur on the right-hand side. So the first is if the average of the daily U.S. 10-year Treasury drops below 1% for an entire calendar year. So I'll stop right there. Obviously, when we launched this, we were in a higher interest rate environment, and now we really have maintained a 10-year Treasury somewhere between 60 and 90 basis points for the last few months. And more than likely, we'll see this calendar year have that 10-year Treasury under 1%. We did make an announcement 2 weeks ago. Everybody should have received a letter from Eric Thomas, our Chief Distribution Officer, that we will not be using this as a criteria to implement an allocation charge rider. So you have the benefit of knowing that we will not be doing it because of that. The other 2 criteria would be if corporate bond downgrades are greater than 25%, or an investment grade corporate bond defaults are greater than 50 basis points. Throughout history, none of these 3 things have ever happened. However, the first one more than likely happened, but we've already said that we will not use that as a criteria to add an allocation charge rider to certain index allocations. So I mentioned this is the index allocation, the lineup. You've got monthly sum, the annual point-to-point, and 1-year and 2-year point-to-points on the Bloomberg, the PIMCO, and the BlackRock ER indexes. And there's a number of ways of using those ER indexes and using the 1 and 2 year by doing a laddering technique. So if you haven't used that laddering technique, certainly reach out to your sales team and discuss that. It's an easy way of combining the 1 and 2 year at the beginning when you put the premium in, and then on a contract anniversary, switching the 1 year into 2 year, and then you get the benefit of much higher participation rates on the 2 year on an annual basis. The other feature that we have added to the contract is what's known as the index lock feature. It gives you the ability to lock in gains in a contract, either in the 1 year or the 2 year participation rates. This has been very successful as well. Clearly, when the market ran up to all-time highs in March, prior to the decline in the market, we had billions of dollars being locked in. So again, another note, if you haven't taken advantage of the index lock, to reach out to your sales team. So I'm going to switch over now to a sales piece. So you can still see my screen?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So this idea is a client-approved piece. It can, as I mentioned at the beginning, help to perhaps work with a client on an individual basis, perhaps, and discuss what their options are when looking at a part of their portfolio that perhaps has declined. We did see, I know that my own 401k was down, 40% the first month and a half or so in COVID. It has recently come back, but there are a number of clients' portfolios that are probably still underwater. And one of the concerns that we got from producers is just the idea that the client will wait in the portfolio that they're currently in rather than move that money into safety, like an FIA that can provide growth, income, and so forth. So this just lays out a very simple strategy of a 65-year-old that's planning to retire in 5 years at age 70. And he recently lost 20% of the gains in a portion of his retirement portfolio. So strategy one, if the client comes to you and says, I'd just like to hang in there and hopefully my contract or my portfolio will grow back to where it was, in a 5-year period, by the time Kevin is ready to retire, he would need, because of the 20% decline in his portfolio, he'd need a 25% gain just to get back. And that would be a 4.56% compounded over 5 years just to get back to where he was. And obviously the concern with this strategy certainly could be market loss. He's unprotected. 4.56 doesn't sound like a lot when we look back to the bull market, for 10 or 11 years, but certainly with volatility in the market combined with Kevin, having a very specific and short timeline, this might not be the greatest strategy from a market loss standpoint. And this does put a lot of pressure on that portfolio. He needs that portion of his portfolio to grow by 4.56% compounded annually in 5 years, or he will not meet his goal. So it puts a lot of pressure. So clients may be investing more aggressively than they should, and so forth. So a lot of performance pressure. And then longevity. Even if he does reach his goal and gets his portfolio back to where it was, there's no guarantee on that income that portfolio can provide. So strategy B would be perhaps to introduce the Allianz benefit control for this portion of the client's retirement portfolio. And we just walked through the accelerated and the balanced. And for Kevin, it might make more sense because this portion of his portfolio was allocated to provide income for him in 5 years, to take a look at the using the accelerated. So in this case, if he moved that money, even though it was down 20%, into the ABC contract, he would immediately get the 10% premium bonus, and he'd get the 250% interest bonus credited to that PIV value. So over the 5-year period, he would only need 5.45% growth over the entire 5 years, or just 1.04% in annual compounded growth to get back to where he would have been in strategy A. So if you take a look at how the ABC can help reduce some of these common risks, first is market loss. Obviously, fixed index annuity, he has no downside in the market, only upside. The performance pressure, so thanks to that bonus, the combination of the two bonuses, the 10% premium bonus and the 250% accelerated PIV interest bonus, he needs 77% less of a return over 5 years to recover from those past losses. And then obviously from a longevity standpoint, Kevin has guaranteed income for the rest of his life with the ability and the opportunity to get raises in income. So I'm going to stop right there. That was just a quick sales idea on using the ABC. And we're at about 30 minutes after the hour. I can go back to my, are there any questions, Tom?
Yeah, just one question with the piece you're talking about there. This does a good job of walking you through creating the need. A question was asked with positioning this sales idea with the ABC annuity. What about the other products within the Allianz portfolio, the 360, the 222? And yeah, how does that fit with this?
Yeah, certainly. So the use of this product, the ABC, you know, where I see a lot of producers using this product in compared to 222 would be slightly older people 60 plus that are looking to produce income at any time, typically somewhere between 3 to 5 years, and maximizing the growth they can get from that PIV value. So obviously 222 can be used for maybe perhaps younger people that have at least 10 years prior to using it for income. This idea of using a fixed indexed annuity for a portion of somebody's retirement assets to help them get protected growth between now and they want to use that money for income can certainly be used with all of our products. For 222, it would have to be used in 10 years. This product performs better than the 360 in that time period. But we, you know, I have used this as example many times with producers that are looking to use just a portion of somebody's assets to do something specific in a specific time period. So that's why I use this for the ABC. Any other questions on that?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Forgive me. The other question that came in was, you know, clients' assets that are down, they want to wait until the market comes back up before doing something like this. What are some common responses that you hear are working?
Yeah, right. So very good. So that's hopefully what this piece would answer for you, because this is exactly what that's designed for. In this example, Kevin, we'll just scroll back up, had lost 20%. So he needs just to grow back. So the cost of waiting is, you know, wait 5 years perhaps in a moderate performance in a portfolio that goes up to just get back to where he started. He needs 25% versus the 20% loss he had received originally. And then you emphasize using, you know, what this strategy maintains. Certainly waiting in the market, and, you know, obviously the market has come back quite a bit in the last month and a half, but you have other risks associated. So I would bring up the fact that, sure, this seems like an okay strategy, but there's nothing to guarantee that you won't see another setback in the market. So that market loss, the performance pressure that you need that to do what you want it to do, and if it doesn't, you don't meet your goals, and then from an income standpoint. So I would just, that's exactly what this does, hopefully, is for a portion of clients' assets, even though they're down, convince them that it might make sense, particularly if you plan to use this money for income. You can use the combination of the two bonuses on ABC, so the 10% bonus and the 250% bonus to the PIV gets them off and running immediately, a lot quicker than strategy A, with a lot less risk, a lot less market risk, a lot less performance needed on the portfolio, and then provide lifetime income.
Thank you, Mark. Let's see. I was about to say there weren't any more questions. We just got one other question. Any sales pieces that take part of your earnings and guarantee them by using the annuity?
So pulling earnings out of a portfolio and putting them into an annuity contract?
Yes.
You know, because we don't have a piece like that, and really currently we don't have good products on the FIA side that allow for that flow premium type of business. You can put money into this contract for 18 months, but you can't do it on an annual basis going forward. But that is a good idea. Yeah, taking money off the top and putting it into a product that protects, but we'd have to do it at contract minimums. I don't know if that answers the question. I thought I would.
I think that answered the question, yes.
Okay, do I have another minute or two, or I don't know what you wanted me to do with time, but I had one more quick sales idea.
Absolutely, you have the time, go for it.
Okay, so many advisors perhaps have seen this idea with the 222, but this is an idea that you could use. Take a screenshot if you like. It's 8.5 versus 2.1. So if I sat down with a client and told them, would you rather have 8.5% growth or 2.1% growth? The answer more than likely would be 8.5%. But can you get 8.5%, and do you need it? So this is a 65-year-old needing $12,000 of annual income in 5 years. And if the client is just in a mutual fund portfolio or an advisory portfolio, in order to meet that goal of $12,000 in 5 years, if you put 200 in, you'd have an 8.5% growth over 5 years. That would grow to 300,000. Perhaps an advisor might use that 4% rule to provide income for the rest of their life. So in this case, in 5 years, you could produce $12,000 of income off of an advisory or a mutual fund portfolio in 5 years. But where are the risks? Will we get 8.5% net after fees, et cetera, over the next 5 years? Will we have any kind of other recession or down market? So there's a lot of ifs. Does that 4% provide enough income? And if I don't get to 300,000, what is my income? So if you compare that to using the ABC, you take that $200,000, it immediately becomes $220,000 with the interest bonus. You get the you'd only need 2.1%. I just cut to the chase here. 2.1%, you get the 250% bonus credit. So you actually get 5.25% growth on the ABC over a 5-year period. That gets you the 284,000. The payout percentage at age 70 is 4.25%. So you get the same income using the ABC with a lot less growth needed. So you only need 2.1% from the index options over the next 5 years to get the same kind of income that you would have needed 8.5% in an unprotected portfolio. And obviously ABC had the benefits of no downside from the market and guaranteed lifetime income with the ability to get raises. So this is a simple idea that can be used to talk to clients about using a portion of their assets that perhaps they already have a strategy but relies on a much higher growth rate in their product. Okay. So those were the couple of sales ideas I have. If there's any other questions, Tom, or I will turn it back to you.
Terrific. Thank you, Mark. And it doesn't look like we have any other questions at this point. So I think what we'll do is we will wrap things up. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today on this call. We will be following up with you. However, if you have clients in mind right now that this could be a great solution for, you don't want to wait to get a copy of the sales idea and that client piece, call us today. We can help you put a proposal together and get these materials into your hands so you have everything you need to present these solutions. If you're not yet contracted with Insurance Network America or Allianz, strongly encourage you to give us the opportunity to earn your business. So with our sales team following up within the next day, if you don't want to wait, our number again is 800-456-7999. Again, I want to thank everyone for participating today. I want to thank our partner, Mark Williams with Allianz Life, for joining us. And one last item, I will put a plug in for our virtual summit that we will be hosting in August. We are targeting August 18th, 19th, and 20th. If you had not seen the email that went from Lori Beck last week, please refer to that or reach out to your sales marketer. We can get you information on that. We're in the process of putting the agenda together. We hope to get that to you very soon. And in lieu of everything going on with COVID, obviously, we're saddened that we can't have our regular summit. This is our 10th year in doing this. So we are going to make it the best virtual educational event that you've seen. So any questions, give us a call, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your time today. Have a great rest of the week, everyone. Again,
thank you, everyone.
Number, one last time, 800-456-7999. Sorry, Mark. Thank you very much, Mark.
Yep. Thanks, Tom.
Bye-bye.